That new album is called Here and Now. The Cafe's Bruce Warren will talk with the band. More music coming up. Dewey, Bunnell, and Gerry Beckley are here to talk with the Cafe's Bruce Warren. Work on the new album grew out of emails between the band and Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne. The album contains a number of songs from younger writers and bands. Bruce asked them how they became aware of the Fountains of Wayne.
Well, pop sensibility, of course. Those guys know how to craft a song. Chris, of course, the main singer, and there's some just wonderful stuff there. But it's not a, you think of a pop song sometimes, and it's kind of an encapsulated 3-minute thing, but there's a real craft to it, and I think that's the thing that makes certain songs last. And Dewey and I have been, we've always said the Beatles and the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson and stuff. And now, decades later, people are holding Brian up as high as he really deserves to be, one of our great.
And the songwriting is what it's all about anyway. That song is what's going to last long after you're gone. And so we've always taken that aspect pretty seriously. I mean, we really have tried to hone our skills over 35 years and try and keep pace with that kind of, those standards, And Adam certainly is skilled in all those departments, as Gerry said. And, it felt really good, too. We got along real well. Right on first meeting, there's no airs or no attitudes or anything. It's really roll up your sleeves and try and make some good music, And that's basically the attitude we've always aspired to as well,
What was so you recorded the new record now? There's a bunch of different musicians on the album that sort of help out on some of the songs. Was there a core band that kind of did the record?
Yeah, we started with a really focused concept, which was, and I like this distinction. Both James and Adam were saying what they were trying to shoot for was a timeless sound as opposed to a retro sound. They would go back and reference a lot of our more famous albums, Homecoming and Holiday and stuff, to try and get the overall sound of that. But by sticking to a certain array of instruments, acoustic, real pianos and things, we brought in Brian Young, who was Fountains of Wayne's drummer. And between Adam and I, played all the bass and stuff. So we started with a very tight focus so that you didn't, and this is something we learned from George Martin from all those years, so that you don't go flying off in a million directions. You end up with something really that sounds cohesive, like a well-knit album. As the word got out and as people started to hear about it, we started to bring in some incredibly cool people. And it wasn't, I don't want it to sound like a challenge, like, we had so many, offers, but we realized that we didn't want this to turn into a here's us and all our cool friends thing, So we were very careful, and, the people that came in were people who were truly fans that we were, very fond of and stuff, and involve them, I think, in an integral way, as opposed to just kind of a duets.
And also, it was a newer bunch of guys, people that, frankly, I was not that familiar with, which was great. It was like new blood. And these guys, both Adam and James, are a good decade younger than us. So it goes without saying that this was a younger bunch, little different energy, coming from a different place. As the project rolled along, we came up with this concept, 4 Gerry songs, 4 of mine, and we'll do 4 outside material. That's, in a nutshell, that's what it's boiled down to. All of those other stuff in the can, and we have other thoughts maybe down the road. But that's the way it has come out. And there's Adam's song, Work to Do. Always love the Not a Surf song. Golden, the My Morning Jacket song, and then Indian Summer. So those are the 4 outside things, and I think they all really shine.
Well, you guys seem really excited about this album. I mean, when you sit back and think about all the many highs that you've had over your career, I mean, it seems like you have an album, a collection of great songs, the performances that, quite honestly, all this time has gone on, and it could be perceived as like no new musical genre has ever been invented since the time you guys made music in the 70s. But that speaks to, I think, the essence of what you're about.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, too, we haven't had an album of new material for 6 years or something. So this is literally the first thing of the first project with new material in the new millennium, if you will. It's been one of those things, as with any veteran band like us, as the decades roll on, the projects become few and far between somewhat, even though we put 100 shows a year together on the road. We've never been off the road. That's our bread and butter kind of thing, and we've always enjoyed working on the road. But the recording thing, as many artists will tell you, it gets tougher and tougher to get a label, to get an ear, to get anybody to get involved. So a lot of things came together on this, which was, it is exciting because, you take a lot of stuff for granted in the 70s and 80s when you've got huge success and everybody's following you around and the shows are going great. And then as that tapers off, you're still creative, you're still writing. Gerry's got this state-of-the-art studio. He's writing constantly. And you want to be able to get that out to a broader audience, hopefully, and see what happens. So,
I think it's a challenge even for the most successful musicians, because there's a kind of an Achilles heel thing for any personal, if you struggle with this, if you succeed, you're very busy with touring and stuff. And if you don't succeed, as you age, I mean, there's a certain stigma. Rock and roll is fastened to youth and to angst and stuff. And as you get on and you marry and family and things, these other things come into your life. It doesn't really occur in the other arts. Nobody goes to a novelist and say, oh, you're still writing novels. Nobody goes to a painter and says, oh, you're blue period, or you know what I mean? It's just inherent in this particular genre of the arts. So I take it personally, to be honest. I think, well, I'm not going to bow down to that. I think I've got as much to say in my 50s as I did in my 40s, but that's the challenge. You got to keep
move over, old guy.
You got to keep the synapses open. Otherwise they do close off, and you go, you know what? What's on TV? And you pick up the remote. And that's true, and you screw yourself, frankly. And then you do become one of those acts that just goes out there and plays those 8 or 10 songs.
And, historically, we started when we were teenagers, so this is all we've really known our entire adult lives. And we've been very lucky and fortunate. This business has been great, and we're happy that we're still around, frankly. But yeah, you still want to get in there and elbow out room,
Right.
Thanks to Gerry Beckley and Dewey Bunnell from America. In a moment, they'll play one of those hits live for us. But first, here's another new song that they performed in our studios when they stopped by.
Ride on into the driving rain. Once more, follow the trail. Long gone into the setting sun. Ride on, you must not fail. Speak out, carry the message far. Make time, use every day. Reach out to every shining star. Ride on, follow the way. And if your journey should end in the promised land, make sure to speak with a voice loud and true. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la. Ride on. Ride on into the driving rain. Once more, seek out the fire. Reach out to every shining star. Ride on, you must not tire. And if your journey should end, will you understand what you